Hello friends, I'm Dietitian Forum Savla and today we are going to talk about different kinds of diet. Now if you see the internet, it's loaded with the kinds of diet a person can follow to reduce weight, to be fit, and we all get confused at the end of the day as to what diet is actually good for us. We normally go by what our friends have done or relatives have done, have got results, and they would suggest you something, and of course they're not pro at this, right? And you end up doing something and then spoiling your health and not achieving results, getting demoralized. So I thought, let's clear this confusion as to what's going on, what's the buzz about, and how much weight does it really have, whether your body is really going to sustain it for a longer time, whether it's going to be practical. So let's see it one by one. Okay, so today we are going to talk about ketogenic diets. It is popularly called as keto diets. It became popular in the last 2-3 years. And so this is what is keto diet. Okay, let's talk about this now. Keto diet basically is a condition, is a metabolic state that your body gets into, which is called as ketosis. And there is a way of getting into this process by following a particular type of diet. Now, what is this particular type of diet? It involves 70% of fat, 20% of protein and 10% of carbohydrates. They have created variations in this, but the basic formulation is basically getting high on fat and very low on carbohydrates. Now, when you do this, what happens is your carbohydrate, when it is less, your body is deprived of carbohydrate because it uses this carbohydrates, turns it into glucose energy for our daily metabolic purposes. So where it is devoid of carbohydrate, it retorts to breaking down fat. When the fat is broken in your body for various processes, it forms something called as ketone bodies, which is then released through urine. So now what people thought is, since fat is getting channelized this way, let's use this diet for weight loss, for improving the blood sugar levels of a person. So specifically a diabetic would be interested in lowering the blood sugar levels. So people retorted to keto diet in this way. Technically, keto diets were formed to actually cure cancer, to cure epilepsy, to cure Alzheimer diseases. For all these disease conditions, it was actually formulated. But then later on, when people saw these results, it came into existence as a different form of weight loss diet, very popular. So now when I analyze a diet, I always look at the positives and I look at the negatives. Okay, because that will give us a better idea whether or not we should adapt to it or not adapt to it. So when we looked into this particular aspect of keto diet, the positive part of it, people did improve their sugar levels. So the sugar levels dropped drastically. They did achieve faster weight loss. Okay, and yeah, these were the two major positives if I had to talk. And negatives were that sugars dropped so much that sometimes people entered into a very dangerous form of hypoglycemia, where people could get a stroke or get into coma or even just fall off on the road. So basically it was a very dangerously low level of sugar that a person could get if the person is following keto diets for a very long time. The second drawback is that this diet is high on fat. When it is high on fat, it actually poses you to more risk of heart diseases. Okay, because saturated fats normally are associated with heart disease. Third thing is that people did experience flu-like symptoms and dehydration, indigestion, and also when you release ketone bodies, there is a pressure on the kidneys as well. Okay, so the kidneys were also at a risk when you do a long-term ketogenic diet. Okay, and yeah, so these were like heart, kidneys, they're very important organs to be compromised on just for weight loss per se. So I would suggest, and also the last thing what I found for the negative part of it was very impractical. So if I had to hang out with a bunch of friends or maybe just go out on a family dinner, or maybe at home if I'm cooking something, I would always have to cook separately because our Indian culture is based on high carbohydrate diet, or at least moderate carbohydrate, complex carbohydrate diet, where they're used to eating rotis, rice, sabzis, which completely go out in a keto diet. So it got a little impractical. Now, what exactly is allowed and not allowed in a keto diet? In keto diets, people are allowed to eat cheese, butter, ghee, all forms of fat basically, all forms of non-vegetarian food. So they can have meat, which is high on fat. They can have fishes, which are high on fat, and moderate amount of protein is allowed. So your dal pulses are allowed in moderation, because if you go again high on protein, then fats would never come into picture, and that's not the idea here. They always want to burn fat. And then we come to the carbohydrates. So very less carbohydrates are allowed. In fact, even vegetables that you use have to be low on carbohydrate. When I talk about carbohydrate, I say all your cereals, rice, pasta, breads, roti, chapati, paratha, poha, kurmura, everything going away from the diet, and coming to only a basic 10% of it, which normally goes in the vegetable part of it. So yeah, all in all, to summarize it, and if you ask my take on this particular thing, I would always resort to a diet which is more practical, which I can follow it at home at ease. Yes, see, normal diets, practical diets does involve lowering calories, but it just doesn't involve making my world topsy-turvy. It just doesn't reverse my entire culture, my entire food eating habits. Okay, and also very important for me is my health, my body. So if I'm going to play around with my main vital organs like heart, liver, kidneys, I am not in for something like that. So you can judge for yourself. I have given you information on this. Please comment in the comment section below if you want to know anything more about this. I love to read your comments, and stay tuned for our next episode where we will be talking about such fat diets. So stay tuned, and bye bye guys.